And I don't think we have to, ooh.
Just trying to dial in the mill a few days after the dressing. The flour is definitely coming out grittier than we want it to be. So still have some work to do to figure out our new range. Let's kind of back up and talk about what happened the rest of that day.
So right now I'm making sure that we have our light, our air compressor hose. John will be here soon with the air compressor itself. This is our stone masonry tool. This is pneumatic. That's the drive that's going to allow us to do the dressing of the stones. And then we've got the two legs of our gantry crane, and then this is the cross piece that actually supports the lifting of these stones. And then lovely crayons. So these are going to help us when we get the stone out of the mill and inverted. We're going to take this light and shine it right across at level with the stone, and that's going to cause a really bright shine on any parts of the stone that are worn smooth and need to be roughed up with this tool here. So effectively, when the glare shows up to us, we'll take one of these crayons and we'll mark that place really well so that we don't lose sight of it when the glare disappears.
So quite a bit of room preparation first. We're getting out all the flour. We're cordoning off the room into two halves. So we have plastic sheeting that's 10 feet tall and as long as we need it. So we're gonna basically draw a diagonal line across the room so that the room that we're using for production, which will still have to be wiped down and sanitized, doesn't really have exposure to all this dust. Some tools for the job: respirators, goggles, my Millstone pieces. We just parked our pallet stacker outside, which will allow us to lift the mill and bring it into a more centered position in the room. This is long overdue, partially because we did have a lot of factor of intimidation in doing this for the first time, not having done it before. So easy to deprioritize things even when they're supposed to be higher priorities. But I think that's a human nature response. We'll probably be dressing our millstones closer to every 6 months. Why I know it's overdue, it's harder to run the mill these days to get the same output of milling. So we have to bring the stones closer together, create more friction, and thus more heat. And you can see that when measuring the RPMs of the mill, which are reported on the back, as well as just feeling the temperature of the mill as it's running. What are we actually doing in redressing the stones? We're taking what's been polished over time and roughing it up so that the stone has its natural roughness to it. And when the flour gets ground, it's ground more easily. Granite over time will polish. I think the next step right now is to detach the sifting box. If you can find the right ratchet, and then we'll try to move that guy over there so that it's behind the curtain, yeah. All right, so this is an air compressor that we picked up today. I'm excited about it more so than just for redressing the mill. Actually, I hope that it gets a permanent home in this room. And I got one that's on wheels for that purpose. There's really nothing better than to use compressed air to clean off dusty surfaces, and it should lead to a much cleaner overall facility. It's not particularly light.
No, and it's top heavy.
Let's actually leave enough space for the gantry crane. We need to get this guy off. I think that means we're gonna have to get this guy off.
You've unplugged this guy, right?
Yes, we're completely disengaged, power's killed.
The thing that I'm most not looking forward to in this day is that we have to actually do this twice.
Yep, because we've got to do the test run and then come back and do the finish. But hey, we'll know what we're doing the next time.
It's true.
And I don't think we have to, going up. Oh, wow. Can you?
1 second, let me hold it here.
Got it. I feel like this would have been a jumpsuit situation if ever there was one. Swing clockwise, because I've got the chute here. Come back toward the clock.
Okay.
Setting down. What I'm going to try to do is come between the chain and the frame.
Okay. A little higher. Okay, you're clear.
Coming in. Can you see my left fork? Am I going to hit anything?
You're fine on both ends right now.
Hard. Coming in.
Am I on the other side?
Almost, you're under the far support.
Good.
There we go. Let's get about another foot. Oh, that's good.
We now need to tarp up this stuff. Should I do a kombucha advertisement right now?
All right, I'm gonna let go. It's probably just gonna lean forward. Clear. Yeah, he's right.
As you recall from the footage, we had to remove portions of the drop ceiling. The mill came in here before the drop ceiling, if you're wondering, and lift the runner stone up. Lock me in at that lowest position again.
Come on, come on. Clear.
Wow. Finally got to the reward of this,
Yeah.
seeing the millstone.
It's something to put your hands on it. Ladies and gentlemen, the eagle has landed.
Start working it after marking it up. That whole process involved basically 3 steps. Well, 4. First, we used a cran, and you can see it on this. So this is the runner stone. It's the top stone. That's the base millstone. The millstone hasn't been done yet. You can see all the craned up marks. We shined a light and looked for all the shiny spots. Those are the high spots that where the stone was rubbing together. And I used the pneumatic tool. It's an air hammer. You can see that it's got these little pointed ends, and basically it just chisels away, and it's kind of like reverse sandpaper. So I was just using that to first get the high spots. Then after I got all the cran off through getting the high spots, I went through all the lands. That's the the flat part of the stone. The furrows are the grooves. The lands are the flats. And so I turned the stone basically from a darker gray to a lighter gray by going over the whole thing after getting the high spots. And then to end, I went through the furrows by angling the tool at the same more or less angle as the furrows were already in, starting from basically flat at the edge and getting deeper grooves inward. So how do you think it went?
Just being able to feel the difference between the undressed stone and one that's been freshly touched.
Yeah.
It's a night and day difference.
What's your feedback before I get onto the millstone? You had a first-hand look, and of course Jamie was cleaning up behind with the shop vac to just prevent the amount of granite dust that's everywhere. But any feedback before I get started on the next one?
I think we need to develop hand signals for who's moving where to do what.
And Luis, one of our main millers, is now here to see the process. You want to hit the lights? Get going. It seems like everything went to spec, and now we're trying to figure out what's normal for a mill after that first stone dressing. We'll see how the whole thing settles in over the next period of time, and make sure that we're going to get the same quality results that we got before. Now it's sort of back to the initial drawing board as a miller, figure out, okay, what are the ranges that we need to get the right flour? In putting the mill back together, just had to make sure to line it up really well, get it back into position, reset the room. Things went a little bit smoother on the tail end than on the front end. We battled with this top piece a little bit. We could get it to set lower with these kind of brace collars, and had to find the right placement for all of that. But eventually it all worked out. You know, pretty long first day for dressing. First time for everything, and I think the first time you do anything, you know, is by far the hardest time. And eventually we'll be good at this like we're good at some of the other things that we do. We hope to now dress our stones twice a year, and hopefully the next time won't be a 10-hour day. Maybe we can cut it down to 5 or 6. We relied on Andrew, who built this mill in Vermont, over the phone several times on that day, just to make sure, you know, we were doing things accordingly. For me, it felt like a rite of passage moment where, you know, we got the mill, we built it, we started working on it. Now that we've gone through that whole cycle, it's easier to say we're millers, not just bakers. We'll have a lot more learning to do over time, so we'll keep everybody posted the next time we go about doing this. So till then, I'm going to keep dialing in this flour to get it right.